While the president was headed to Ohio, his Secretary of State was making a shocking announcement in South America. Hillary Clinton hinting to the administration's next step on immigration.
President Obama has spoken out against the law because he thinks that the federal government should be determining immigration policy. And the Justice Department, under his direction, will be bringing a lawsuit against the act.
She's talking there about the Arizona immigration law, and that interview apparently was back on June 8th. Mark Levine is a radio talk show host, and Dan Stein is president of FAIR, the Federation for American Immigration Reform. The two are here to duke it out. All right, let me throw it out there. What do you guys think, Dan, about what we're getting from Secretary Clinton? Do you think she knew she was going to make waves?
Well, of course, she's issuing a major policy pronouncement of the administration's in a foreign country without having bothered to tell the governor of Arizona, Jan Brewer, what their intentions were. Our understanding is the DOJ still has the matter under investigation and analysis. They haven't made a final decision. But this goes further to this question of the administration appears to be partnering with or acting more in the interests of foreign governments, or the government of Mexico, in announcing its view that the federal government has the right to not enforce the law, and states are apparently powerless, in fact, have to deal with the aggressive opposition of the federal government in trying to do the right thing to have a full partnership with the federal government. The proper response from Hillary Clinton and the president should be, we stand with Arizona. We want to work with Arizona to bring about a constructive, meaningful approach to enforcing these laws, to assist Arizona in the implementation of something consistent with immigration law to get the job done. Instead, it's hostility, attack, vicious attack, and misrepresentation, and frankly, we are tired of it.
All right, Mark, on the other side of this, you know, we do have something called the Supremacy Clause. A number of folks have pointed to this saying, you know, it basically says in the U.S. Constitution, if the feds have a law on something, that trumps everything else. Do you think that's going to be the basis for this lawsuit? Do you think they're going to be successful?
Of course. Anyone who's read the Constitution of the United States knows that under Article 1, Section 8, there has to be a uniform law with regard to naturalization and immigration. Anyone that's read any of the United States Supreme Court opinions for the last 200 years know that's the case. Anyone who's read, as you point out, the Supremacy Clause knows that's the case. This is all about the Constitution, and anyone that is surprised that the Justice Department is bringing suit really hasn't been watching the Constitution. Look, Eric Holder, the Attorney General, said in April they might bring suit. They've been working on it. I'm sure it's going to come any week. I've been predicting on this show for months it's going to happen. This really is no surprise.
All right, Dan, the president met with Governor Brewer at the White House June 3rd. She came out of that meeting. They both talked about the fact that he was committing millions of dollars and authorizing National Guard troops to go help out at the border. She says as of now, she still hasn't gotten that. Does she have any choice but to enforce this law, set up a defense fund for it, and to take this on when she's not getting the response she hoped for?
Well, first of all, I don't agree with my opponent here. The law is drafted very carefully to be consistent with federal immigration law. The Supremacy Clause does, of course, ensure the federal government is the one that's primarily controls our borders. But Arizona is not making its own immigration policy. It simply passed a law consistent with federal immigration policy to assist the federal government in enforcing the laws. It's the federal government's obligation to assist the states when it identifies people here illegally in helping to apprehend and remove them. That's how you control illegal immigration. Eric Holder has never said the Arizona law violates the Supremacy Clause. The National Guard troop thing, I tell you, we've seen these deployments before. As soon as the Klieg lights are off and the press conference is over, they pull them back out. The Arizona National Guard is not going to be enforcing immigration law anyway. They say they're going to be there to stop guns from going into Mexico. This administration has not put together a meaningful, competent immigration enforcement strategy. Their only answer is to hold enforcement hostage to amnesty.
All right,
and say we're not going to do anything until we get an amnesty through Congress, and that's wrong.
All right, let's give Mark the last word here.
There's a reason why immigration is in the Constitution. There's a reason why there's a single federal standard. We don't want to have it where people are legal in Arizona or illegal in California, or New Mexico has enforcement laws that are different from Arizona. There should be one standard. That's the way it's been for 200 years. That's the Constitution of the United States. If you don't like it, I guess you can amend the Constitution. That's the way it is. I got it right here. Article 1, Section 8, Uniform Standard of Naturalization. Look at Hines v. Davidowitz, 1941 Supreme Court case. It has always been this way. I'm a constitutional lawyer. Read the law, Dan. If you don't like the law, change it. And here's the answer. If you want a federal solution, then we can do that too. 23 Republicans in 2006 voted for comprehensive immigration reform.
This is why we don't get any.
Gentlemen,
we have a federal solution.
All right, great debate there. We appreciate it. Very heated up on this Friday. Mark and Dan, great to see you both.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, coming up.